Hello everyone, welcome back to the very third episode of That's What Geeks Do podcast. My name today and always has been Chriz Lee, and I'm here joined with the one and only, and then Joctan, you say your name. There you go.
Hey, that's my name.
Today's quite exciting. We have a very, very special guest and a dear friend of mine, the one and only Becca. Hello Becca, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you. Very excited.
I'm very excited to have you here. Like I said, today's going to be a really exciting episode. So many things happened this week, and I'm still grinning over the newest WandaVision episode. It's just so exciting. It's just so exciting. But before we get into that, it's going to be later in the episode. We're going to recap the episode, then review it, and then give our thoughts and feelings about it. But as you can tell, it's just exciting as it is. So we're gonna start off with a few things that happened this week, and the biggest, I feel, news that came out entertainment-wise was the trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe.
It reached about 50 million YouTube views just the trailer alone, which is insane. I feel like this is the first trailer for a movie that has gotten this much hype in about a year, right?
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
Just because nothing's been out. Like, nothing's been this exciting at all last year because of the pandemic. So I'm just going to say it. Team Kong, there.
I'm Team Kong, too. I don't know why. I like the guy a lot, so.
Oh,
no.
I like King Kong too, but Godzilla. he's a walking nuclear bomb, though.
I mean, you can be Team Godzilla. We don't judge. We don't discriminate. We really don't care.
This is just for fun.
Which is the funniest thing, because online there's been so many arguments of people just analyzing the whole thing. Godzilla is nuclear power. He defeated an alien dragon and all these things, and Kong is just a giant gorilla. And I'm like, yes, he is.
Yeah, two real monsters, apparently.
But so this is the fourth movie in this Godzilla universe, I guess. I don't even know what kind of name it has. But we had Godzilla in 2014, then we have Kong Skull Island, and then we have Godzilla King of the Monsters. What are your thoughts? And I want to start off with you, Joctan, because I know that you were most excited about this movie. What are your thoughts on the other three movies that came out prior?
I'm gonna be super honest. I haven't seen any of them. But I do like the design of King Kong, the last one, and I'm gonna see them because I want to see if they're somehow connected to this movie, because I haven't seen. I don't know if they're the same actors though. So
no, wait, oh my god, wait, you haven't seen any of them?
No, since I started doing films, I haven't been able to just go to the movies, sadly.
Becca, your turn.
I'm just poor. I don't have time. And hopefully this will change this year, because I miss going to the movies. But I have so much to catch up on. I have not seen a lot of movies.
Becca, have you seen any other three movies?
Yeah, so I saw the one that came out in 2014 with Elizabeth Olsen, and her love interest was Aaron Taylor Johnson, who a year later became a brother and sister in Age of Ultron. So that was cool.
That was.
So I saw that one, but I did not see the newer one that has Millie Bobby Brown in it. But I did notice in this new trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong, Millie Bobby Brown is in this one.
Oh, yeah,
so it looks like those two are connected. But as for the 2014 one, I think that one just kind of is there.
So did you see Kong Skull Island though?
I didn't.
Oh, so that's why you're okay. That makes sense. No. So they are all. I unfortunately have seen all of them. Um, no, they're all connected. So Godzilla was the first one. They introduced Godzilla in this new universe, and then Kong Skull Island came out, which was set in the 70s. Not in the 70s. It was during the Vietnam War. I don't know which time period that was. When was it? Joctan, you know about this?
Yeah, 70s. Yeah, around the 70s.
The 70s. Okay.
No, 60s.
50s.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was set back then. So Kong in that movie was like a junior. He wasn't a fully grown adult. So he was a lot shorter than what he is now. But since it's been so many years, he's grown to be the same height of Godzilla, which is some of the arguments people have been making, where they're like, "Oh, they made Kong bigger so he can fight Godzilla." Like, no, he was never fully grown. So shut up.
He was a baby.
He really was, even though he was still a skyscraper. And then in 2019, Godzilla King of the Monsters came out, where he fought the three-headed dragon, which was an alien.
Oh, yeah.
Hydra?
No. Yes? I don't remember the name. Listen, I'm gonna be honest.
I know Mothra. I know that name. That's it.
Mothra was in that movie, the giant butterfly.
Yeah.
So in Godzilla 2014, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't that exciting for me just because Godzilla was barely in the movie. Like he was
Right.
he was teased throughout, and then he made his big entrance at the end, which was a pretty epic fight. At the end was great. I just wish I would have seen more of Godzilla. I enjoy Kong Skull Island, but I felt it was a bit boring.
Yeah,
and Tom,
that's how I felt about the Peter Jackson one that was 3 hours long.
I actually
No, I
enjoyed
did
that
saw
one.
that one. I did saw that one. It was, I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I would enjoy it now. I have to see it.
Yeah.
But with the Kong Skull Island one, Tom Hiddleston was in that movie, as well as Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson. So it had a great cast.
Yeah.
And
It's
then,
been on my list.
And then 2019 was Godzilla versus Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I fell asleep twice in the movie, my dude. It was the movie felt so long, and it gave me everything I complained about the first one. It has so much action, it has so much Godzilla, it has so much monster fights that I was just bored by the third act. So I wasn't a big fan of that one, but I am excited about this one just because I love Kong and I enjoy Godzilla, and just seeing them fight together, I'm sure it's gonna be nice. And I rooted for Iron Man, I rooted for Batman, I'm rooting for Kong. They're the underdog. Come on, you just gotta.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Is there anything else you want to add about it, Joctan or Becca, about the movie?
I'm excited for this. I'm definitely gonna see this movie. But I'm excited. I did mention you before that in a way I don't want them to fight, because come on, you know, we know who the real monsters here are. But at the same time, I do want to see them fight. And apparently the director said that he was gonna have a definitive winner.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like you said, it's gonna depend on the writers. They're the one who decide who wins. But I'll go Team Kong. You know, I'm gonna root for him even if he falls down and cries or dies or whatever, and I'm gonna cry. Because he did his best.
You said King Kong, and in this universe, it hasn't been named King Kong, and that's one of the things people have been saying. Because in the last Godzilla movies, he became King of the Monsters. So they're saying
Maybe
that
he becomes king.
Exactly. So they're saying if Kong wins, they'll name him King Kong.
Oh no!
Oh, there it is.
Did we
It's
just
too
figure
obvious.
out the movie?
So if I hear that line, I was like, he's now King Kong. I'll be like, yes, he is. So another bit about this movie is that it's going to be one of the movies that's going to come out both in theaters and on HBO Max as part of Warner Bros. And HBO Max's thing of the year, where they're going to be releasing the movies in theaters and HBO Max at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's coming out on March 31st. Please let us know which team are you on. What was the next thing we want to talk about, Joctan?
We were going to talk about Raya and the Last Dragon trailer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
So I saw this trailer when I was in the Hot Topic store, and I was on the line, right, to pay, and I was supposed to be next, but I just stayed there watching it. So I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" Because I forgot this movie was gonna come out, right? And I was trying to figure out which movie was this, and then like, "Hey, next," and you go, wait, this way.
It would have been funny if you. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I loved it. I'm excited.
I just want to say it would have been funny if you just like you were in Hot Topic, right?
Yeah.
And then you looked down, you looked at the trailer, then you looked up, and it was just covered with merchandise of the movie right away. Because Hot Topic do be like that. Hot Topic do be like that. But what are your thoughts? You said that you're excited. What about you, Becca?
I'm also excited. I do have thoughts. So I'm excited, as in Disney's taking that step forward and they're representing different cultures and things. I also love Aquafina, so yay for that.
Which is just gonna be the dragon, right?
Yeah, which is cool. I just really wish that they would stop doing so many 3D animation movies. I really miss the 2D hand-drawn animation, like Princess and the Frog.
That's a wonderful topic.
Yeah, you actually do. I haven't thought of that until you just mentioned it. Like, whoa, wait, that's true.
But that's kind of been their goal, right? Like, if that's just what they do now.
It is.
Because I remember they did like their first computer animated movie, like from Disney Animations, not Pixar, was the infamous, the one and only Chicken Little.
Yeah.
And then since then they just kept producing computer animated movies, and until Princess and the Frog came out in 2008. So 2008 was like the last 2D 3D merged kind of film.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna go back, to be honest.
Which is really sad.
The last 2D movie that they released was Disney's The Princess and the Frog in 2009.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And they only did it because I don't know, they were feeling nostalgic, as they always do. But even then, it didn't make enough money for them to be like, oh, okay, people want more 2D animation back.
Yeah.
So they kind of just, and all their computer animated movies have made over $1 billion. So they're like, okay, this is working. We're not gonna go back to that. But it is sad though. Like, I wish they would like find a good balance of 2D.
Yeah, that would be better. But
and 3D.
I get it. Money.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're good.
Okay, I was just saying, I think they can thank Tangled for that, because I think one of the reasons, now this could be totally wrong, I'm just theorizing, but I think one of the reasons why they wanted to keep Princess and the Frog in 2D was simply because they really wanted to make Tiana a princess, and at that time, all the prior princesses in the franchise were all 2D animated.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Tangled came out and Rapunzel was so popular, they couldn't not add her to the franchise. So she was the first 3D animated princess. And then Merida came, and now, I mean, Moana hasn't officially been added, but she basically is a Disney princess. So now people don't seem to care how they're animated.
Yeah.
So if the 3D's working, I guess they're gonna continue with it.
Yeah, and that's Disney. That's what they do. If it's working, even if it's not good, or it's just they're just gonna continue making it.
Yeah.
But I just wanna go back real quick to Raya and the Last Dragon, because you mentioned that it's a step forward to like new cultures and diversity.
Yes.
But apparently, I read an article that the Southeast Asian community is not that excited about the new princess.
Oh no.
And here is the following. It says right here, a friendly reminder that actual Southeast Asians are not thrilled for Raya and the Last Dragon. They basically put the whole region in a blender and hire so little Southeast Asian actors for the roles. It sucks. It feels like Disney didn't care to respect us. And then another person said, I am actually very conflicted about the new Raya and the Last Dragon casting. I love all those cast members, but basically everyone except KMT is Asian. Imagine how big it would be. They actually casted South Asian actors. South Asian actors are sorely lacking in Hollywood. So this is always a debate when it comes to specifically Disney or American movies trying to do cultured movies from different parts of the world. They kind of, in my opinion, I feel like they try for half of it, and then the other half they're like, that's not necessary. Because for Mulan, the entire cast, the Mulan live action that came out last year, the entire cast was Asian, right? But the entirety of the background, the behind the scenes, the production, director, writers, screenwriters, all of them were white. So
that's a problem.
Yeah, so it's great that they're making like a South Asian princess and all that jazz. And I'm sure not everybody, who am I to say? But I'm sure not everybody's excited about it, especially like in that region. But it's always like, oh hey, this is new. This is a new culture. Check this out. We're being represented. And then behind the scenes, it's like, but are they though? Regardless of that, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it looks good. The animation looks good.
And
I guess, yeah, I'm excited, but then, you hear those things, and then when you watch the movie, I feel like I'm just going to think the whole time, like, oh no, there's a whole culture that probably hates this, and it's about them.
I feel, that's one of the things. I feel like we have to either do more information or figure out more like what it means or like your thoughts on it, because just because you watch something like doesn't really mean that you're against representation or whatever.
Exactly.
But this movie,
it's a bit complicated. It's sad.
Yeah, it's very complicated. But this movie does come out on March 5th. I'm excited because I'm excited for it because it seems very action adventure, and I feel like we haven't had a Disney princess movie that's action adventure like this one is. Like, she has a sword and she actually uses it.
It looks like a freaking cool sword too. Did you see it like expand?
Yeah,
almost, and like wraps around people? It's awesome.
It looks really badass. And it seems to have a lot of supporting characters and a lot of comic relief characters, which is usually just one or two. But from the trailer, it seemed like everybody's a comic relief character.
Yeah. Especially the kids. Like the little baby.
Yeah, which someone said I guess they ran out of psychic animals, so now they have a baby as a psychic. But this movie, unlike HBO Max, which is free with the subscription, you'd have to pay to watch this movie on Disney Plus, and it would be $30 just like Mulan was. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm just gonna wait.
You gotta wait until they.
Because, yeah, I'm not, because I didn't pay for Mulan. I just waited till
What about you, Becca?
I still haven't decided. Because I want to pay for it, because I feel like, I want to support the artists and things. And I know people argue and say, oh, well, they've already got paid and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, but that's not the point. Like, when you pay for a ticket, you're not paying those people's salary. You're paying, for the experience and the support and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I feel like I want to pay, but at the same time, like you said, I could also just wait until it's free. So it's
the thing is, Joctan, we have to watch it when it comes out.
Yeah.
we have to.
We have to.
We gotta.
It's okay. I can do it.
If anything, we can just split it.
It's okay. Like, I literally just waste $30 on books every day, so whatever.
Okay, I really don't want to pay $30. But I guess I will.
Listen. No, like we'll figure it out. If you want to do that, we'll do that. I don't mind.
So yeah, that's Raya and the Last Dragon. Let us know your thoughts on that as well. And this is the next news that we're going to be sharing is a rumored Harry Potter TV series.
Yeah, a rumor.
yeah.
What do you think of that?
Before we talk about this topic, I know what's been going on with the creator J.K. Rowling. I just wanted to make very clear I do not agree with where she stands on the comments she has been saying on the trans community. That being said, I do love Harry Potter. I love the world, and if this is true, I'm excited. I've read a lot of people are not excited about it. I'm excited, but I wouldn't like to see the characters that we already know in a way. I was reading that it would be cool to see forgot how was the map called, the map that Harry Potter uses in the fourth movie.
What is the name of the map?
Marauders map.
Yeah. So apparently they were saying on the article, it said that it could be a great idea to have the series about the creation of that map. I think Severus was there, Harry Potter's father, Peter Pettigrew, Lupin was there. So I would like to see that story. But I don't know about you guys.
Is that I'm sorry. Is that the official
No, that was just something they would like to see if it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Becca.
Oh yeah, which is kind of crazy that you said that, because I just finished reading the third book, Prisoner of Azkaban, where you go back and you learn about how they created the map and things. Which this is my first time reading the books, by the way. I've only seen the movies. So the third book especially is missing so many details and backstory that they just neglected to put into the movie that's actually pretty important to the story, I think. So if they do decide to go the TV route, I think it'll be interesting that they can they'll have more time to put all that stuff in there that they missed when they had to do the 2-hour movies, because they would run out of time. I also think it would be interesting if they follow the format kind of like how Series of Unfortunate Events did on Netflix. Where either they did 1 or 2 episodes of one book and then they followed through, or they could even honestly do a full season, 8 episodes of one book and have 7 seasons.
That's very interesting. I would love to see. I know I just said I wouldn't like to see the characters back, but if that's the way they're gonna go, I think that's the smartest way to go. Because I saw the Series of Unfortunate Events and I loved it. I know it was quirky and kind of silly, but I love the fact that they went for 2 episodes per book, so they had 2 hours. Right?
Yeah. It was about that.
Yeah, and to focus on one complete book, and I like that format. So if they're gonna go with the classics, the 7 books, you can even do 3 episodes per book. I don't mind, give you more.
Right.
But I hope, in a way, I hope it's true. We have to see how they work with it and what stories they might want to tell.
So my thoughts on that is, I recently actually just finished watching all 8 movies, and I hadn't watched them in years. It's been a really long time since I last watched them, and it's actually been 10 years since the last one came out. Just saying, we're old.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And they're still great films. I really enjoy them a lot. I've never read the books, so the movies is all I know. Again, if it comes out, I'll probably watch it because that's what geeks do. But I'm okay if it I don't know. I feel like they're squishing so much out of this franchise, that I feel like it's everything that's been done with it. Like I feel like it's good enough. Like I don't need to see more of it. I don't need to see where the map came from. Like if that's were to be the point. Like because we already have a prequel series about a book that was mentioned for 2 minutes in a movie, and now we don't know what's happening with that. So it's just like
I did enjoy the first movie, but the second one I didn't like it as much.
yeah. So
I didn't like the second one either.
I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
So if it comes out, great. If it's good, fantastic. But I'm not really looking forward to it.
I get it.
Yeah. So that's
I don't want to get my hopes up, but I think like I don't even know if the world's really ready for it yet because like you said, even though it's been 10 years since the movies came out, like people are still pretty connected to Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe, you know, all the actors and stuff. So are people really ready to move on with new faces? I don't know.
It's funny you mentioned that because my sister, she's 14 now, and she recently rediscovered Harry Potter, and she has a huge crush on Tom Felton.
As she should,
stop talking about him, and she wants me to buy her the books, which I'm gonna make her read them. And so if that's happening, maybe it's better if they wait a little longer.
Yeah, like it's just they're still popular. They're still being played. Everybody still knows about them. They're visiting the theme parks of it. Like there's no shortage of Harry Potter content out right now for more content to be made. And so we're gonna go ahead and jump to our final news before we get into the WandaVision review. But this was all yours, Joctan. So apparently a new sequel to the Vikings series came out. I've never seen it, know nothing about it. Becca doesn't know anything about it either.
All right,
so please enlighten us.
It's gonna come out very soon, apparently by the end of this year. So Vikings is a series originally from History Channel, which I love. It tells the famous stories of Ragnar Lodbrok and his sons, and I think it just recently was over. The last year, I think they aired the last season, so they had 6 seasons, right? And all of them are great. This is one of the first series I see that the main characters, spoilers, dies, and the story keeps going, and I know Game of Thrones that happens apparently, but it doesn't at the same time. But I think Vikings is superior to it. There I said it. So Vikings is a great series, and it's becoming more popular now than when it first came. I think it aired in 2013. I discovered the series around 2017, 18 maybe. And it's wonderful. It's really great. It is violent, but it's more about how the Vikings, right, were trying to colonize the English lands and the France lands, and some of them trying to just work together, and others just trying to annihilate people, human nature, I guess. But it's very good, and I like it. And so I recently heard or read there's an official statement on Netflix that they were gonna go ahead and do a sequel series about let me look for the name. I think it's Erickson. His name is, he was one of the most famous kings of Norse or Norwegian stories and Viking stories, and they have a full cast. I don't know any of their names, but they seem like accurate, like they're from that part of the world. Yeah, Gustafsson, Johansson. Yeah. Anyways, the main character is gonna. I don't know if any of you have seen Sabrina, the last few seasons of Sabrina.
No.
So, okay,
No.
so there's an actor that was in Sabrina. He's gonna be the main actor in the series, which is pretty big. Cause, whoa.
Well, good for her.
Anyways, yeah, because it's like the series they have great actors, and it's like they're big name actors, and then I mean I'm pretty sure they've had a lot of great work. I have never, except this guy, I've never seen any of them acting, so I'm excited about that too. And yeah, I think I like it. I like historical fiction, and I like historical series too. So yeah, Leif Erikson, that's the name of the main.
I remember that
the main
while
character.
you were watching the series, I remember that you kept saying, "Don't watch Game of Thrones. Watch Vikings. Is a lot better."
Yeah,
for many
and I'm
years.
still gonna say it.
And I mean,
Listen,
I've never
if you're
seen
Team Kong, you're gonna love Vikings.
I've never seen Game of Thrones, and I haven't seen Vikings. But after how Game of Thrones ended, I might give Vikings a chance before I ever gave Game of Thrones a chance.
Yes.
Did you watch Game of Thrones, Becca?
Oh my gosh, yes.
No.
So I didn't watch it like
Religiously?
yeah, so I didn't watch it like when it came out and everything, but when I moved down here, my now roommate and my sister were very into it, so obviously they got me into it. And I caught up, and so I could watch the last season live, basically, watch it while it was being aired. And yeah, so I got my whole education of Game of Thrones within a few months, and then I watched the
Wow.
last season live, and then I was crushed. So
Did
yeah,
you
So-
like the
but-
last season?
What was that?
Did you like the last season?
So I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it.
Okay.
But I think that's also part because I was kind of late to it, whereas all these other fans were with it from the beginning, so they were more attached. And not that I wasn't attached, but I was shorter time period.
Then you should watch Vikings on Netflix
Okay.
soon. And History
Yeah, I've
Channel.
heard
like
all
Vikings.
good
I mean,
things.
Vikings doesn't have that fantasy element, which I love. I love fantasy. But it's like more real and grounded story, because it's based on not necessarily historical facts, because they're legends, but they do try to make it as grounded and real as possible. But yeah, go watch
Alright.
Vikings.
Cool. Everybody watch Vikings and let Joctan know your thoughts and feelings. He will appreciate it.
Please.
So, we're going to go ahead and jump into what was, personally, the best episode so far of WandaVision.
I mean, yeah, because things happened.
So, this episode... So, let's do something real quick. Let's give our short thoughts, like 3 to 4 words, thoughts on it. Non-spoilers. And then we're going to do a recap, and then we're going to review it. And we'll review it as we recap the episode. So real quick, this is my favorite episode so far. It was super intriguing. I love what Marvel's doing. And it was just exciting. It was just exciting.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Oh,
my
that's I was like, holy crap, that's evil. No, but I was shocked. I was like,
All right.
wait. Ah! Yeah, that's it.
What about you, Becca?
I am so excited to see where this is going now. I educated myself before this whole season started. I read so many comic books. Oh my god. It's and I'm happy that it's semi following a few that I read.
Okay.
But it's still so different, and that's what I love about it, because it's still, even if you've read them, and you could have read all the Scarlet Witch comics that came out ever, but it's still so different, and that's what I really like about it.
Then we'll definitely ask you a few things since you do read the comics.
Yes.
We haven't read the comics, but
No, I haven't read.
we will love to know your intel about it.
Yes.
So, go check it out, and now we're going into spoilers and a recap. Okay, so the episode starts off with, oh my gosh, let me just get my thoughts together. So,
Listen,
the episode starts off with Monica Rambo, which I mentioned last episode that I heard somewhere that she was the daughter of Captain Marvel's best friend, whose name I forgot.
Maria.
And I'm sorry, Maria. Thank you, Maria Rambo's daughter. And they confirmed that in this episode. She is the daughter, obviously all grown up. But anyways, the episode starts with her being blipped back into reality. The episode starts with the bleeping, I guess, where everybody starts. Everybody returns after not Tony Stark. Hulk, Bruce Banner snaps back everybody back into existence, and I feel that this was the correct way to do that, and not how they did it in Spider-Man Homecoming. In Spider-Man Homecoming, if you'll remember, it was essentially a joke the way they did it. Far From Home.
They made it a joke.
I'm sorry. Far From Home, yeah. It was kind of like a joke where everybody literally just poofed back, like in the basketball court, like the band just appeared while they were playing basketball. Yeah. And it was just, I was like, is this how they coming back? So I was personally disappointed with that. But just seeing this, just the opening of literally being, how do you even describe that? Like, she wasn't disintegrated. She was like redisintegrated.
She was
redisintegrated.
Undusted.
Undusted.
Like,
we literally saw her face be formed from the dust. She was in a hospital, and then she walked out of the hospital because she was there because her mother was having surgery, right?
Oh, or she but then
yeah, so she walks out of the hospital like, where's my mom? Like, it's only been about 20 minutes. I fell asleep, and everybody's bleeping back, and there's chaos, and then
it's like, we need to take people away. What?
Yeah,
there was a.
Go ahead.
I have to admit, I was a little confused because like, what's going on? What is that? And then it clicked when
I rewinded.
They're the blip or whatever. It's like, oh wait, okay, right, because Endgame happened.
Yeah, it took me a few seconds too because I was like, oh god, what is Wanda doing now? But then I was like, oh, yeah, now I know where we are.
And then Monica goes up to the doctor. They know each other, and then she was like, hey, my dude, it's only been 5 years. Your mother died 3 years ago, 2 years after you disappeared. And she's like, oh, what? Her mother died from cancer. Apparently, they got it out. Like, she got better, and then she died, unfortunately, 2 years later.
Yeah, I came back.
And then just that opening alone, like seeing that, and then it cuts to the Marvel intro logo, which it had new footage. I don't know if you noticed. It had Endgame and Infinity War footage in the new Marvel logo with the fanfare. But like seeing that opening, that cold open, and then the logo felt like a movie. It felt like I was watching a new Marvel movie.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
And I got goosebumps. Again, we're in the 4th episode and I'm still getting goosebumps from this thing.
The thing is, again, going back a little bit to the Endgame movie, the Endgame movie time jump, it's 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in the series, it has been 3 years, right? So 2 years before the Endgame ending movie, because Wanda's at the ending, right, of the movie.
No. So this is after Endgame.
So this is kind of like Far From Home time. It's kind of happening at the same time as Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm just confusing the
So she came back.
Opening.
So she came back after Bruce Banner 5 years later after Infinity War, right?
Oh yeah. I'm just confusing. Yeah.
So her mother died 2 years after she disappeared.
Before. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been 3 years since her mother died, so it's been 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then, I was a little bit confused. Yeah.
And then the rest of the episode is just essentially it's exposition. It's a lot of answers. There's a lot of questions that are answered. But we're introduced officially to SWORD, which is the Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division, which has been hinted at several times in the last few episodes. But we finally have a new division organization that was created or founded by Maria Rambeau. That is the mother of Monica Rambeau. And how do you guys feel just seeing a new division? Because obviously S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone, so is Hydra, and the Avengers I guess they're gone too. I don't know where they're at. But just seeing a new entirely thing that is, I guess, has always been there.
I
so
want Becca to. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I want you to talk first because I wanna listen to the perspective. Since you've read some of the comics, you probably know a little bit more about Sword, because I didn't know about Sword at all.
Yeah. So in the TV show, I think they said it's instead of it's weapons instead of something else. Like in the comics, it's not weapons. I forget what it is in the comics, but in the TV show, it's weapons. So basically, what they're saying is that Maria, which is Monica's mom, created S.H.I.E.L.D. because she knew about Captain Marvel.
Created Sword.
Or Sword, yeah, sorry. She created Sword because she knew about Captain Marvel. Basically because she knew, there's Skrulls out there, I know about them, and, they have all these things and stuff.
Aliens.
So that was kind of cool. Right, that they, implemented that into the show. Because otherwise, before Infinity War, what people knew, I guess we knew about aliens in Avengers. So, that's kind of weird to think about. Because if there was an alien thing back when Avengers was happening, why didn't they help then?
Yeah.
So where were they?
and we can assume that she, since it was founded by Maria after Captain Marvel came back, it was in the 90s. So the organization presumably started up in the 90s.
Yeah.
So they have been present the entire time. But they're called the Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division. I'm not sure what that entails, if they never responded to anything that happened. So maybe they'll explain it. Maybe they'll show that like they did in Endgame when they went back in the past and we saw the Sorcerer Supreme defending New York during the 2012. Maybe they'll show a scene of them running in the streets. I don't know. But we have a new division. We have a new organization, and they are teaming up with the FBI and literally every other, organization out there to figure out what's happening. And so apparently I was kind of confused about this. Westview, is it a real town that was taken over, or was it completely made up?
Well, the police officers are saying that it doesn't exist, and they only have Eastview.
Right.
But that could also be Wanda still manipulating their reality, and them thinking, oh yeah, it doesn't exist, because she claimed this place as her own.
Right. So, I feel like we just need to throw it out there. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. But Wanda is behind all of this.
Correct.
Yeah.
We found out later in the episode that Wanda is the one doing all of it, and the reason I don't want to go around it because it would make more sense that way if I say that first offhand. Wanda is doing this, which we kind of already knew. But the thing that happens is that Agent James Woo returns from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
And he does magic.
And I think he's a pretty great character. But we see him return, as well as Dr. Lewis from Thor, which is nice seeing these side characters come back and work together. It kind of really unifies everything in this universe.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But they both return, and they're teaming up to figure out what's happening, because Agent Wu arrives to Westview as well with Monica Rambeau. So many names. and and they figured out that there's an energy film around this Westview, and so Monica touches the, I don't know, the energy field, and then she gets she literally gets sucked into Westview, and that's where they call everybody. You gotta suit up. You gotta come down here. They form a base around it, and they try figuring out how to go in, what's happening, and all that jazz. And we kind of see we see the behind the scenes of things that occurred prior in the episodes. Like we see where that helicopter that Wanda found on her porch. We find out where it came from, and we also find out that James Woo was the person that was radio in a couple episodes back, where they were like, Wanda, who's doing this to you? So that was pretty cool, just seeing that. Like we were questioning it, like what's happening, and then we see it, and how it connects to everything else.
Yeah.
What do you guys think
I'm
about
really
that?
happy that they showed us the back end of things and just didn't leave us hanging for too long. Because I think if they waited to do that till the end of the season, it would have been more confusing. So I'm glad they took a break before they really got crazy.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be very, very crazy from here. I mean, it's been crazy since the beginning, but the fact that we already know what's going on, that Wanda's the one completely responsible for it, and that they're here trying to help her somehow, trying to get in, but Wanda's not letting. And then Vision kind of knowing.
Yeah, Vision kind of.
Okay, there's something wrong. Listen, I got scared because I was like, is Vision's head looks weird, like less red? Is that because he's on the background, or that's on purpose?
Yeah, I saw him in the background, and I was like, he looks fishy. This is something weird.
But he also, after we see what happens too when Wanda confronts Monica, where she's asking, "Who are you?" And then she literally says, "You're trespassing. You're not supposed to be here." And Wanda has this like trauma-faced look. She's literally traumatized. She's just traumatized. Seeing her husband or boyfriend gets his head blown up.
So I kind of have a
Thanos.
theory about that. With
Go ahead.
why? Because Paul Bettany came out a few weeks ago and basically said that there was supposed to be an end credit scene to Endgame where Monica finds Vision's body in a body bag and basically kidnaps him. But they probably didn't want to show that because that might spoil the TV show. But now we kind of see that, where we're seeing Vision looks like he did during the end of Infinity War when Thanos did kill him. So I'm thinking that Wanda did in fact kidnap him, and now he's walking around like a dead man, but she's just using her hex magic to manipulate him as to what he looks like, and he's able to live.
That is so messed up.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm thinking.
But it was so like, I feel so bad for Wanda because it's definitely trauma, right? Like it's definitely her trying to contain a normality on how things could have been, like living together, having this kind of, wife husband lifestyle, and also having babies together.
Yeah, which it makes it even sadder because, even if things were okay like they were prior to the events of Infinity War, where we saw them, tucked away wherever they were hiding together. Even then, they were still in hiding. So even though they were happy, they still couldn't be completely, normal. They couldn't go out and do things because they were still being watched, and, people saw them as threats. And it was, so it's still sad. So it makes sense as to why she wanted to make this pocket reality for them. But then it's also almost like this is a coping mechanism for her.
Yeah.
But then she also might find herself safer there because maybe she's afraid of what, her powers can do if she's, still angry and suffering from the loss of everyone.
Speaking of powers, she is super powerful to maintain all of this.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because not only she's able to use her powers in this world while still maintaining this facade around it. one of the things that were intriguing is how every time something goes through that, they transform into something from that decade, right? Like we
Which
had
is
the
so cool.
it was really cool. We had the drone go in, and it was like a little helicopter, but like an actual like 50s helicopter, I guess.
Yeah, like a little toy.
And then we had the rope that also it went back, but it stayed the way it changed when it went through the thing.
Rope.
That's what it was? Okay, I was confused. I wasn't sure what it was. Hey guys, so unfortunately, this is a weird cut right here in the middle here, just to let you know that Joctan had to leave. So he'll be back next week, but we're just gonna continue finishing up this episode. But everything's all right. Everything's all right. All right, back to the show. And so it was just really interesting. I didn't know that was a jump rope, but it was still cool how it stayed our jump rope when it came back out. Like, why?
So I saw, like, as soon as that guy went down there and he was attached to the rope in the little tunnel, the first thing I thought of was, oh my god, this reminds me of Stranger Things. You know how, like, you can go down into the upside down, like, the thing and stuff? So I was like, wow, this is cool. But, so I saw some parallels there with that, but the only difference is, you don't really come back the same from the upside down. So that was cool. But speaking of that, though, with powers and everything, I think that the Monica getting kicked out may.
I'm
give
sorry.
her,
You mean yeeted?
Yeah, she was yeeted out of the field. Sorry. That might give her photon powers.
Her photon powers? Please
Yeah.
explain.
So in the comics, she becomes a superhero called Photon. So basically she has like energy absorption powers, and she can manipulate like her speed of travel, so she can travel at the speed of light, which I think is why she's called Photon, which is fun. But yeah, she basically can control energy, but then I think she can travel through space as well, kind of like Captain Marvel can in a way.
Oh.
So that's cool. And speaking of Photon, when we were introduced to the I keep wanting to call it shield, to the sword facility, we saw Monica's mom's plaque on the wall.
Yeah.
Maria Photon Rambeau.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, so I think she's going to get her powers, and she's going to take her mom's nickname as her persona.
Oh.
Kind of like how the Avengers were named after Carol Danvers.
Yeah, Carol Avenger Danvers. But don't get me started on that. Oh, interesting. That's good. So Monica Rambeau eventually becomes a superhero?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
she's Miss Marvel, I think, sometime. Like, I think she was introduced in a Spider-Man comic, and I think she was Miss Marvel then, but then she, like, evolved, and now she's Photon.
Okay, I know a Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
It's an Indian descent.
Yes. So,
character.
even Captain Marvel at one time, like, was actually called Miss Marvel. So, there's multiple people under that same
They're just
moniker.
running out of names by this point.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's exciting. That's a good. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's super awesome. Hopefully we'll see. I mean, I'm sure we'll see. But it seems like we're moving now. We're moving forward. I'm glad that you mentioned earlier how it was good that they answered a few of these answers now and not wait till the end, because now that we have these answers, now that we have these questions answered, then we have other questions that we can focus on and not just have too many questions to be revealed at the end. Like,
right.
Oh, this was the helicopter, and this was the beekeeper, and this was that, and this was like, it's like, okay, that's just too much. Makes no sense. But this is a pretty cool episode. I feel like it's my favorite just because, again, you could see how each dimension, I guess, was like interacting with the other. And it was nice seeing all characters come back, like James Woo and Dr. Lewis. And having Sword, like it really felt like Phase 4, like starting.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, like finally.
So excited.
Even though that was supposed to be Far From Home's job, I'm sorry, my dude. But
Yeah, my boy.
but it's here. It's finally, we're moving forward. We have new division. We have characters coming back that are becoming the main characters. We have characters that were young in a past movie and now they're grown. And this is so exciting. We finally have Marvel back, and I couldn't be happier.
Me too.
So, thank you so much for listening, everybody. We really appreciate you. This is our longest podcast so far, but we had a lot of exciting things to talk about, and I hope you all enjoyed hearing us ramble. Because honestly, that's what we do. And let us know your thoughts on everything that we spoke about at our Instagram at That's What Geeks Do. Thank you so much for Becca for being here with us today.
Yeah, anytime.
And Joctan, I'm sure he would say something the likes of like, "Thanks for listening. You guys are great," or something. Unfortunately, I had to leave halfway through it. But thank you so much for listening. See you all next week. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Stay gold, everybody.
Bye.